Hello, 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 hello. Great evening. Great evening. Nice to be here again. If you're live with me, please give a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up. If you're live with me, please give a thumbs up. So if you're live with me, if you're joining me for the first time, please leave a comment, drop a comment. I would love to hear from you. I would love to interact with you. I want this session to be as interactive as possible. And if you're joining for the first time, please make sure to share. Make sure to share. Let people know that we are live. Let people know that we are live. Let people know that we are live, that we are ready to share today. We are ready to have a discussion about purpose. We are ready to find out what our purpose is so that we can live more fulfilling lives. So we are live. Let people know that we are live. Let people know that we are live. Okay. So if you're joining me for the first time, I am Annabelle Lola. I am founder of Bezatelli, which is a sportswear brand that I started in order to encourage women to be fit, healthy, and confident. But I didn't just start this sportswear brand because I wanted to start an ordinary clothing brand. I wanted to start a movement of women, of confident women, a movement of women that are not only passionate about doing what they are doing, but they are also passionate about loving themselves, about caring for themselves, about living a fit and healthy life. They are passionate about empowering themselves and taking over the world. So if you're ready to do that this evening, please leave a comment, leave a like, and we would get started in a second. So thank you so much to all those that have joined and to all those that are yet to join. We would love to see your comments. We would love to see your interaction. So tonight we'll be talking about my favorite topic. If you know me, you know I love to talk about purpose. Whenever we meet or we hang out, I always bring something that concerns that would take you to think about what am I doing to have a more accomplished life? What am I doing so that tomorrow, when I am no longer on this earth, people can remember me as someone who actually accomplished or who actually made an impact in other people's lives? So today, like I said, like our topic says, living on purpose. Today we'll talk about how to discover your purpose and then how you can use your purpose to make an impact. We see a lot of very renowned people impacting lives or changing lives in one place or another. But sometimes we need to ask ourselves, how did they get there? It's because they discovered that their inner person. It's because they discovered what their passion was. It's because they found out what they were meant, what they were created to do. And that is why they are so renowned or so influential, or they have become so prominent, as some people will say it. So, according to the Oxford Dictionary, purpose is the reason why something is created. So if we look as simple as the laptop or the phone that I'm using um, to do this live today, it was created for a purpose. And the intent behind the creation of this laptop is the reason why the manufacturer made it. And we can only know why the manufacturer made it if we go through the manual. Because when we go through the manual, we'll be able to read a step-by-step guide on how to use the manual. So us as human beings, where does our manual come from? Who is our manufacturer? A lot of us will say our moms are our manufacturers, but I'm here today to tell you that unfortunately, no, your mom was just a medium through which our manufacturer brought you to this earth. So, as a human being, our purpose on earth here can only be known if we know who our manufacturer is. And our manufacturer is no other person but God. And when He manufactured us, the manual He gave us was the Bible. So if you want to know what your purpose is, your first assignment is to go through the Bible, is to go through the manual that he established when you were born. So the first thing is to go to God, speak with him, have a time of communion with him, and then he will be able to guide you towards finding what your purpose is. Most people that discover their purpose, they live more accomplished and fulfilling lives. So I would like us to look at a few reasons why it's important that we kind of know what our purpose is on earth, and then we can proceed to the steps on how to find what our purpose is. The first thing is that our purpose gives us clarity and direction. When you discover your purpose, your life has a sense of meaning. You're no longer just wandering about, gossiping with people, or doing things that are of no interest or of no importance to you. You have a sense of meaning because you know exactly who to associate with, you know exactly the books to read, you know what course to study in the university, you know what places to visit, and you are very, very intentional about the type of friends that you make. So that's one very important reason why we should know what our purpose is on earth. So the second most important reason for us to know our purpose is that it gives us focus. When you know your purpose, you are a more focused and motivated person. And this would automatically lead to making you more productive. Hi, Caitlin. Delighted to see you live. Hi, Veronica. Good to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. Please, if you have any questions, you can drop them on the comments, and I'll be delighted to come back to them at the end of this session, or I can answer them as we go. Please keep your comments coming. If there is any aha moment, something that comes to you like, oh, I never thought of it this way, please make sure you drop it in the comments so that others can know that this is something that we normally take for granted, but which is very important. So, like I was saying, the second most important reason is that purpose makes us more productive because we are more focused on what our potentials are. We then discover how to use them in a more effective way. We are no longer those people who would spend hours and hours on social media or browsing websites to purchase things which we might never use or which is of no importance to us. It makes us more focused. This is what I want to accomplish for my life. This is how I want to accomplish it. And this is what I have to do. So we are more focused. We are more motivated because we know exactly how to get there. The third reason is that purpose makes us more resilient. We are able to pull through challenges, no matter how challenging life is, no matter what situation you may be going through. You realize that you're slowly but surely pulling through those challenges. Every step you take, it might be challenging, but it brings you closer to your goal. And then finally, purpose makes you live a fulfilling life. If you see most of the happy people in life, most of those people that live really accomplished lives, they might not have much, but when you see them, they radiate happiness, they radiate joy from inside. It's because they have found their purpose. It is because they know why they are on earth. It is because they found that reason that ignites them on a daily basis. And it gives them that enthusiasm not to settle for mediocrity. They just know that we have to keep going. They self motivate themselves because they know that they are heading somewhere. So, after looking at the reasons why it is important for us to know our purpose, I want us to go into a very simple method of discovering purpose. And I call this method the cross method. But before I go there, I want us to know that each of us was designed for a purpose. And the way we were designed naturally just makes us live, just it just aligns us to that purpose. Some of us are just naturally very soft-hearted people. Some of us just get frustrated when we see certain things in society or in our community. That is because it is in alignment with your purpose. So let's look at the cross method. When you look at the cross first goes up. So when we are looking up at the cross, is to look up to God. What is God saying about my future? If we look at Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, that's my favorite scripture, my favorite passage in the Bible, and that's the only scripture I know, okay? So it says, "Before I formed you, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." So, what has God set you apart for? When you look at yourself, what do you think that God created you for? If you're very unsure of the reason why He created you, why not go into scriptures? Why not find someone to mentor you? Why not look at people that are doing things that you really love, or things that when you look at them, they kind of ignite something in you? Why not look at those people and find out, how are they doing this? How did they start? Why did they start it? It's just about you going through that process of examination, of examining yourself. Take that moment of reflection and ask yourself very deep questions. Why am I here? Why did my maker make me? Yes, why among the thousands or millions of sperms that had to be born through my mom, why am I the one that survived? Ask yourself those questions. Is there a reason? Is there something that he wants you? Is there something that your maker wants you to bring to earth? Ask yourself that question. And if you're unable to answer that question, always go back to God in prayer, in fasting. Seek for spiritual guidance. Find a mentor. There are loads of people who are mentoring people today in different aspects of their lives. Find someone to mentor you and share those questions, share those doubts that you have with them. But I'll emphasize on the point of looking up to God, because still in Jeremiah 33 verse 3 he says, "Call unto me and I'll answer you." So if you speak to him sincerely, he will tell you exactly what your purpose is. You might have it as a dream, you might have it as something that you see every day and you feel like, I think I can do this, I think I can bring a change to this, I think there is something about me that's pulling me, that's attracting me to this field, that's attracting me to this area in life. And then once you start doing, slowly you realize that, oh, I think this is it. Then that is it. Like, actually you have found yourself, you have found who you are, you have found what your assignment is on earth. The second thing is to look inside of you. When you're looking at inside of you, it's just to look at those strengths or those talents that you have. What are some of those talents that you have? Maybe you're a very good uh, public speaker. You have some natural gifts that you know that when I do this thing, people appreciate me, people like it. Maybe you're very good at singing. Maybe you're a good hairdresser. I know some people are wondering how come I have hair done today. Yes, I actually started doing my hair again. Yeah, so maybe you're a good hairdresser or you're very good at writing. Then you ask yourself, what area of life do I want to write on? Or what area of life do I want to be an influential speaker in? Is it in academics? Is it in IT? Or is it maybe you want to be a good preacher, you want to be a great leader, but what area in leadership do you want to find yourself? Do you want to leave your mark? You're looking at your strength. Are you a very creative person, or do you adapt easily to circumstances? Maybe you self motivate yourself so easily. You don't, like, you just do certain things so effortlessly. You don't need people to encourage you. You don't need people to tell you that go for it. Or you're great at problem solving. Or maybe you just like honesty. What are some of those strengths that you have, or you want to look at your passions, those things that fascinate you, those things that you can do for so many hours without getting hungry or without feeling tired. Everyone's sleeping, but you're working on that thing because you want to be good at it, because you want people to see, you want to radiate that thing when people look at you. Those that know me know that I'm very passionate about talking, about advising people, about making people come out of that phase of their life where they're feeling sad or feeling angry or feeling stuck. What is that thing about you? I just want this to ignite something in you. How do we find our talents? So, the first and most important way to find your talents is to write down the things that you're very, very good at doing. Maybe you're great at swimming. You can become a swimming instructor. Maybe you're great at dancing. You can start doing choreographies for popular or for musicians. Maybe you're great at singing. You can start singing songs maybe to educate young people. You can start singing gospel songs or whatever type of songs that you are interested in. But it is, first of all, you feel like you don't have a talent. Maybe if you like, at the end of this session, I can send you the link and then you can come on stage, or we can go backstage after the session and answer a few questions. But it's about you taking that time of reflection and thinking very deeply within you. What are those things I am good at doing? That when I do it, I can appreciate myself. I am excited with myself that I actually did something. For me, it's just speaking hours on the telephone trying to help somebody find a solution. That is it for me. I don't need anybody to tell me, because when I do that, I feel fulfilled, I feel accomplished. And coming online here to share with people is another thing for me, because I know when I share, someone is going to get their breakthrough through this. So, Veronica, I'll recommend that you take time to ask yourself those sincere questions. What are those things that you love to do? What are those things that you do effortlessly, that you can do even if you're really tired? You still feel like, I can still keep going. I can still do this. You know, you ask yourself those questions. Even if they're not paying me, am I ready to do this? A lot of people that I mentor them for free because I am passionate about it. It's some I want to see people's lives transformed. So ask yourself those questions. And then you can go up to the point of asking yourself, when I was much younger, maybe a toddler, not really toddler, maybe when I was primary school age, what were those things that excited me? What did I think that I want to become? If you start from there, sometimes you can build up and see that, oh, this is exactly where I need to find myself. I hope this helps you, Veronica. If not, you can drop me a message after this session. And then when you look at your passion, you ask yourself, this thing, does it really fascinate me? Or am I really just doing it because other people are doing same? So ask yourself a lot of questions. When we look at very prominent people, there's someone that I admire very much. He's called Richard Branson. He's the founder of the Virgin Media Group. He was so much passionate about entrepreneurship and then adventure. So he loves to travel and then he loves entrepreneurship as well. And then he asked himself, how can I put both together? Then he created Virgin Media Group. Today, a lot of us travel through Virgin Airlines or whatever it's called, or we use other of his services. But it was because he discovered his passions and then decided to monetize it. So discovering your passion doesn't necessarily mean that you end with it at a basic level. What I mean by basic level is that you do it continually for free. You can always monetize it. And it is even more beneficial when you monetize it, because at the same time you're helping people, then you can also put food on your table. So it's very important to be able to get to that extent where you monetize your passion, because then you're also leading to the phase of leaving it as a legacy. Those that come after you, they can be able to say, okay, I can keep doing this work at the same time I'll get money to feed my family. So always remember that your passion will energize you and it will set you apart from the crowd. Don't be discouraged to think that too many people have the same passion as me. Every single individual, I assure you, every single individual, as much as we have the same passion, we all have different ways of expressing them. We have unique ways of expressing them. So what is that unique thing in you? It could just be your smile. Some people will fall in love with your smile. Others will just love your voice, while others will just love the way you come on stage, or the way you gesticulate, the way you take the time to answer their questions, the calmness in your voice, or just the fact that you gave them that listening ear, you gave them a shoulder to lean on. That one already is something that sets you apart. So don't think that because so many people know how to sing, too many people are great at cooking, I can't I can't measure up, or I won't call it competition, because we don't want to talk about competition here, but it's about you looking at that thing and then empowering yourself more. That is, you challenge yourself that though I am a very good cook, but I'm going to learn from others. I'm going to learn from people that are in this industry that are doing better than me. I know this lady who is a great cook. She's on TV all the time. I'm going to find her books and I'll study what secrets brought her to the top. The third thing that you want to look at when you want to discover your passion is to look down at yourself. What are those down moments in your life? What are those down moments? How did you feel? Why did you feel that way? What are those things that frustrate you? What are those things that you grieve about? When you see them in the society, you feel like, I just want to bring a change to this. I just want to be able to change this life. I just want to be able to heal this person. Maybe by healing them, it will just be through your advice to them. It could just be you taking time to talk to them. It could be you taking them for a walk or taking them out for dinner. What are those things that when you look at in the society, they make you so angry? What are those things that when you look at, you just feel like, I wish we had leaders that can bring a change to this? Maybe you're looking at the situation of people with disabilities in your country and you're wondering, why is no one helping, or why are they not being heard? Or you're looking at the financial situation in your surrounding, in your environment, in your family, and you're asking yourself, why are things not moving for us? I want to make a change. Or you're just looking at young people in the streets and wondering why at such a young age they're engaging in promiscuity, or they're getting unwanted pregnancies, they're dealing drugs. What are those things that when you just sit around, it frustrates you so much? Or what's that experience that you've had? Always know that your mess, whatever mess you went through, it could always be turned into a message. That mess you have been through is someone's message. They are just waiting to hear it. There are so many people that want to hear your experience, how you got out of that broken marriage, or how how you overcame your divorce. Or maybe you're struggling to conceive and you finally conceive, you finally had a child. There are so many people who want to hear your story. You have a child with a disability, you struggle with him for so many years, and now he or she is a successful person. People want to hear that story. How did you get there? That could be your purpose on this earth. You telling your story and encouraging other people not to give up. I was once there, I've been through that path. What is your story that you want people to hear? Maybe you've been through a certain difficulty, or maybe you lost someone and it took you so many years to grieve that person or to overcome the loss. It's time for you to share to other people how you overcame that loss. When we look at influential people, I want to take the example of Oprah Winfrey. She had a very, very challenging childhood. She was molested several times and then got pregnant at a very young age. But today she's using her story to inspire young women, to inspire not only young women, but to inspire people, to inspire millions of people. So, what is your story that you think shouldn't be heard? That story which you think shouldn't be heard is what somebody somewhere in the world is waiting to hear to rise up. What's your story? Take that moment of reflection and think about it. What are those pains in your life that you feel like I can never overcome this pain? Somebody is waiting somewhere to hear that pain. Someone is waiting somewhere to hear that story. What are those things that excite you? Whenever you think about them, you get so much energy. You say, I am ready for this. What are those things that every time you bow your head, or every time people are saying, aren't you tired? You still keep going. You say, I am tired, but I'm not giving up. I am tired, but I won't stop until I am finished. What are those things? Then the fourth thing that we have to look at when we are looking at the cross is to look at the side. So we've talked about looking up to God, then looking inside within us. What are our passions, our strengths, our talents, our gifts? What are our values? Maybe your value is just I just hate people that are not honest, or maybe it's empathy. You just love to be empathetic, to sympathize with other people, or maybe you hate hypocrisy. You're just a naturally loyal person. Some of these values could be the reason why you're on earth. It might not be the direct reason, but it's going to complement your reason why you're on earth. So when you're reflecting, you think of all your talents and then you write down what your values are. You see, oh, okay, I now see why I value loyalty. Maybe it's because I'm supposed to work in this area in my calling, or in this area in my purpose. So if you look at them very well, they should complement each other. If you look at your strength, your gifts, your talents, or your skills, what are those skills that you just do effortlessly? They should complement each other. If you look at your skills and they're too different from what you think your talent is, or what you think your major gift is, then you need to go through a moment of reflection again. I like what Caitlin wrote in the chat. She says resilience is a very key thing when you're thinking about your purpose, because when you have your purpose, it makes you more resilient. And when you have resilience, you easily push through, you easily soar through whatever conditions or whatever situations you might have roadblocks. But because you know where you're heading, You build that capacity to be a more resilient person. So, like I said earlier, the fourth thing is to look for feedback around us. What are people saying about you? What do people appreciate you for? So, Veronica, think about it. What are some of those things? Maybe your co-workers or your schoolmates or your friends. What are those things that they appreciate you for? What are those things that they say that you're very good at or that you're good at? Because when they tell you consistently or continually that you're good at something, then you can build from there. So, what are those things that people tell you that you're good at? What are those things that people appreciate you that you have wisdom in? So, think about it. What do people say that Veronica is good at? What do people appreciate Veronica for? What's that one thing that when you were young, each time you did it, people said, "Well done, Veronica." And I still go back to your childhood you. What are those things that when you were much younger, you said, when I look at this thing, I feel like I can bring a change to it? Or even right now, what are those things that you think you want to bring a change to? Maybe because you experienced something similar, or maybe because someone you know experienced something similar. So, what are those things? Think about them and you write them down, because only those things will lead you towards getting the real you, towards igniting the real you. So we have looked at the cross method. Because of our time today, I'm going to limit it to that one method. But I want us to look at how can living a purposeful life impact our community. When you live a purposeful life, like I've mentioned a few influential people, and you and I, you that is listening to me here today, you are influential in your own capacity. So when you are working in that your purpose, you inspire other people, and by inspiring other people you empower them, and this is how your community is improved, because they see in you a role model. They want to bring a change, they want to be able to be like you as well. So they'll emulate you, they'll try to copy you, and that will bring a positive thing in your society, because no longer will people just be stuck at one level, but people will be making progress. The second thing is that you'll become a role model. Everyone is looking up to you, everyone is counting on you, so you have to be on your toes all the time to make sure that you don't fail them. And as you're a role model, you know that young girls are looking up to you, so you don't want to fail them. And then finally, you'll be building a legacy for your community. They would say someone came from Ballincollig or wherever you're living. Someone came from Ireland, someone came from Japan, from China, someone came from Douala, from Yaoundé, from South Africa, and they made an impact in the world in this field. So, what's that impact? What's that legacy that you want to leave? No matter how small you think it is, it's going to make an impact. It might make an impact in children that are adopted, it might make an impact in families, it can make an impact in people's relationships with themselves. So never neglect the impact that you can create in the world. So, what are some obstacles that we can face when we want to discover our purpose? The first big obstacle that we would face is fear. Fear of rejection, fear that I'm not enough, fear that people would say, "Who does she think she is?" Yes, I was there before. Before I took out courage to be able to go on life like this and know that regardless of any judgments or any pronouncements against my personality, I don't care. What matters to me is the impact I am trying to create, or it's the message that one person will pick from this life and change their life completely. So just imagine I don't do this live today, and there is someone who actually needs this message at this point in time. And then they are searching on social media or they're searching on the internet, and then they can't find this information. They might just live a depressed life, an anxious life, or a life that for them has no meaning. But because I took the courage, regardless of what people thought, maybe that I don't have as much experience, that I don't have as much knowledge, we always build from somewhere. And unless you get started, you would never know that you need to grow in your knowledge. So it's very important to get started. Start from somewhere, because when you start, you will be able to build yourself more and more. So do not be afraid that people will talk about you. Even if you don't do lives like this, even if you decide to be a nobody, people will still talk about you. So if you feel like your life, you have more to offer, if you feel like there is something deep within you that needs to be expressed, whatever area it may be, I encourage you today, go for it. Find someone to mentor you. Follow people that are doing it better than you. But I encourage you to go for it. The second most important reason is that we are scared of limiting beliefs. A lot of us grew up in homes or in environments, in communities where certain how will I call it, certain things were regarded as real when they weren't necessarily real. No one makes it in our family. That's what some people would say. So who do you think you are to just come from this family and make it to the top? Those are some of those limiting beliefs that we grew up with, that our family is a nobody. Some of us grew up knowing that if I was a wealthy person, everybody will run away from me because they will believe that I am an evil person, because only very evil people became wealthy. Or it's just that self-doubt. Nobody actually told you anything, but you just doubt yourself so much. You don't trust that you can do it. You just feel like I'm too old for this. Or you're just thinking I don't have enough skill. Like I said, unless you start, unless you take the first step, you never know where you're heading. So I want to encourage you today. Don't think that you're too old. Don't think that you're too young. Don't think that you don't have the skill. Don't think that you don't have the money. Start from somewhere. Somebody once said that vision brings provision. As you start, don't be surprised that people will come from nowhere to support you, whether financially, whether with the knowledge, or some people will just be there to encourage you to keep going. Kindness and empathy of herself goes at the extra mile. Yes. So I believe you're giving some qualities of Veronica. So she has to look at that deeply. That with my kindness, where is this kindness pushing me through? Is it maybe pushing me to the medical field? Where is it? Like she needs a deep moment of reflection, and then she can know exactly where she's heading to. So I was just saying, do not be frightened by what people say, because even the top guys, all those people that have these popular platforms we are streaming on today, people still talk about them, people criticize them, but they had a vision and then they decided to go for it. I left college 2 years ago and I'm not sure should I go back and start a new course that has been drawing me in for a few months. How do I choose? So I'll ask you one question. In fact, I'll ask you two questions. Why did you leave college? And then secondly, why do you want to do this new course? Why is this new course drawing you? So if you can answer maybe the second question first, Why is this new course drawing you? Or why do you think that this new course is calling your name? Yeah. So a little recap on what we have said so far. What are those things that when you see it, it upsets you in society? What are those things that you're so passionate about that you don't care if you do it and you're not paid for? If you do hours and hours without getting any rest, you don't get tired. Remember that your destiny lies in your passion. Your destiny lies in your passion, because there is no way you would work through your destiny or you work in your destiny if you don't like what you're doing. So think of the things that you like, and why do you like them? Always write them down. It requires a good moment of reflection. So think of everything, like even the sad moments of your lives, those things that upset you, those things that make you so angry. It could be in your family, even. Nothing is too small. Write everything down. It could be in the educational system. It could be in the world. You look at the world and you feel like if there was much love, if we could only love each other, if we could accept each other. So you start asking yourself, now that I know that my problem, like I know that I am passionate about bringing a change or bringing love to the world, you ask yourself, how can I do this? Okay, you look at your talents. Now I realize that I'm good at singing. Do you want to sing a music that's going to captivate the world to unity? Or you're a great athlete. I see some people use sports to bring peace, to bring communities together. Or maybe it could be through arts, you're great at drawing or crafting something. So think about it. Like I said earlier about cooking, maybe you can come up with a dish that uh, uh, comprises or that englobes most of the cultures in the world. So think about it and be creative with your thinking. The new course is childcare and play therapy. It's drawing me in as I always was children oriented. Wanted kids at a young age, and I like children and being around them fulfills me. I left college due to a pregnancy loss and I went to work instead. I think the loss is always what's drawing me. Okay. So it's a great thing, but I think that we might need a deeper discussion. But like you said, due to a loss, one thing I'll ask you, when you left school due to the loss and went into work, did you find happiness going into work? Were you accomplished working? Or did you really just do it to forget about the moment? Did you do it because you needed your mind to go somewhere else? Or did you do it because you felt like this is what I'm supposed to do now? And then you say you always have been kids oriented. You wanted kids at a young age. It's a very nice thing to do, but I want you to think about, how is this going to fulfill me? Yes, I love to be around kids, but in what area do I want to work with kids? And what type of kids do I want to work with? Is it kids with disability? Is it kids that are struggling with emotional issues, stress, anxiety, depression, whatever? Is it um, kids that have some maybe health challenges? Think about it. Is it maybe working in a preschool or play school setting? And then look at it in the long run. In 5, 10 years, in 20 years, will I still be excited to work in that place? Because if not, then I'm afraid that this is just going to be a covering to what has happened, but it's not going to solve the problem. So look at it in the long run. 10 years, 20 years from now, do I still want this? I'm taking it as an example. Do I still want to work in a preschool? Or maybe because I see childcare and therapy, I'm not too versed with that side of things, but maybe you want to have your own business where you coach parents on therapies that they can do with their children that are struggling. That's another way to look at it. So have a think about it. We can always, you can drop me a message, then we can go on a call at some point. But think about it. Maybe you want this because you're trying to cover the pain that you went through when you lost your child. But it could be that it's your calling, it's your purpose as well. Do you do one-on-one sessions we could discuss? Yeah. So if you just drop me a message, then we can book a session. Unfortunately, I can't do this evening. I'm supposed to be on the meeting right now, so I have to leave this live right now as we speak. But yeah, drop me a message, a private message, then um, we can talk more detailedly. But yeah, have a time to think about it deeply, profoundly, and I always say that take the time to grieve your person. Take the time as long as it can, but do not last too long, because the longer you last, you'll be sinking yourself into depression. So take time to grieve your person if you have to, but have that support system that will pull you out. Yeah. So have the support system that will pull you out when they see that you're sinking deep into it. And always pull, the way you can pull yourself out is doing something you love, not doing something that will remind you what happened to you. So I want to end with this quote from Leo Roston. He says, "The purpose of life is not to be happy, but to matter, to be productive, to be useful, to have it make some difference that you lived at all." Thank you so very much to everyone that tuned in this night. If you love this session, please make sure to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, and we will be coming live more often in the coming weeks. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you got value for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.